Am I the bad guy for refusing to resell my Taylor Swift tickets? Hello, I'm a 26 female. Have been a Taylor Swift fan since middle school. I say she's gotten me through some pretty rough times. One example is when my neglectful family banned me to my room for a full year with no TV or any entertainment at all. I secretly keep one of those tiny iPods, and all that I had it was her debut album. I listened to it over and over and over. It was all I had. My speakers was some weird toy I got for Christmas one year. It was a stuffed elephant with a little aux cord and tiny speaker on its roar. Never used it until that moment. I would say from then I've heard every song, purchased every album, and still listen to her daily. When she announced her Eras tour, I was so excited. I was going to try my best to get tickets. I did the verified fan, found 2,000 plus Swifties in the Ticketmaster queue, and somehow left with 2 tickets in the nosebleed for $155 each on 8-5 in Sophie Stadium. At the moment, I was completely broke, so I had to ask my boyfriend if I could borrow his Amex card to pay for them. He said no numerous times, I think until I had tears in my eyes and had to beg how much it would mean to me. And of course, how I promised to pay him back. He said I had to get the cheapest tickets, but that didn't matter to me. Just being there was my goal. Fast forward to now, tickets are selling for 2005K each in the section we're in. He expects me to sell them. I tell him no way. He was been calling me selfish and that I care more about some rich person more than my family. And he's arguing that there is no person in the world he will see for $5,000. I say I didn't pay you $5,000. I paid only $155, completely pay him back by the way. And the memories mean more to me than that money even could. He argues I should know they were going to be a hot item and book more seats for the sole purpose of reselling. I just say I didn't buy them to resell. I bought them to go to see my favorite artists. He just keeps listening the stuff we could play off. My car or his student debt. Or the vacation we can take instead. Vegas, Disneyland. I just can't give them up. Am I being irrational by not reselling them? Am I the bad guy here? Am I the bad guy for bailing on an event and agreed to when the hostess husband was added to the mix? Hi folks, a friend of mine has recently bought a house that came with a large nice hot tub. She was really excited about this, and I suggested she have a housewarming party. She landed on the idea inviting about a dozen of our mutual friends for a ladies' hot tub party, spa night. I was really excited for her and excited to attend. I offered to make and bring a large charcuterie board. I actually went and bought all the ingredients for this, which was about $200. So earlier this week, the event is Monday on the 3-day weekend. She told me her husband canceled the plans he made with his friends so he could stay for the party because it sounded more fun. The reason we choose this date was because he will be out of the house, so no man. I personally don't like being in swimsuits in the public, and I know that's my own separate issue to work on. I was excited about this in part because I feel really comfortable and safe around these ladies and could relax instead of worrying about how I look in a swimsuit. Anyway, since this development, I told her that I didn't think I would attend because I wasn't feeling great about being in a swimsuit. I didn't specifically say her husband's presence was the problem, but she's a smart girl. She told me to think about it and asked me to still bring the food. I made new plans for the day and won't be in town to bring me in. I let her know this as soon as it developed. She seems peeved. Now I heard from another friend in group that she's mad on me for canceling and saying that it wasn't right for me to offer to help with food and bail. And the worst part is she told her friend that I'm making it out like her husband is a pervert. So I never implied that. Don't think it, and I feel like he was a right to be in a house he owns. I just don't want to hot tub spa night with him. Am I the bad guy here? Am I the bad guy for asking my brother for money to fix my car, knowing that it will come out of my niece's college fund? So I have a brother, Mike, who has a daughter, Eddie. For her 16th birthday, Mike bought Eddie a used but still very nice car. She totaled it 2 months later in an accident when she was 100% at fault, and Mike did not buy her another one. So far, she's gotten by with Mike's car, but he recently had to take a business trip out of town and was worried about her being home alone without a car. He asked me to lend her my car for a few days as a favor. My wife and I each have one, and it wouldn't be a major inconvenience to me. I reluctantly agreed. When it was time for me to take my car back, Mike told me that Eddie had accidentally put diesel in it and that it had died in their driveway. I headed towards the repair shop and asked for $1,500 from Mike to get it fixed. Mike told me that he will transfer the money soon, and I told him to take as much time as he needed. Later that afternoon, Mike's wife Lisa called me to tell me that the money for my car will be coming out of Eddie's college fund. She begged me to let the money go because Eddie needs that money for college. She actually started crying and I started feeling really bad. The thing is, I don't have money to pay for the repairs. I'd have to take it out of mine and my wife's shared saving accounts. I actually already have with my wife's permission. I will put the money from Mike into that same saving account to restore the original amount. Even so, I told Lisa that Edie needs to have consequences for her actions. And if that means she has less money for college, then that's when that means. She meekly agreed and hung up. Yesterday, I got a text from my sister. She basically called me a selfish bad guy for taking money out of Betty's college fund over a stupid mistake. She said that I was being cruel and that she knows I have the money, so she'll just bite the bullet and let them keep the money. Now I'm struggling with this dilemma, and I figured that I should get some unbiased perspective. So, am I the bad guy here? Am I the bad guy for leaving my young nieces alone in the house to go run errands? Hello, I'm a female, 23. I still live with my parents. I pay them a little bit for rent and I help out with chores around the house. My brother is married with 2 daughters. His wife has a habit of dropping them off with my parents so she can go run errands. My parents tolerate this because they love their grandchildren. Last week, my parents went away on vacation, and I had the house to myself. I was going out the back door to the garage while my sister-in-law was dropping her kids off at the front door. We didn't see each other. We did see each other when I was getting groceries, and she was parking to do the same. The Publix is only about 5 minutes from my house, but she tore out of parking lot like a bat out of hell. Then she called started. My parents, my brother, my sister-in-law, pretty much everyone was calling me irresponsible for leaving the girls alone so I couldn't go run errands. I asked each of them when they agreed to watch the kids. No one of them could date that I had. My brother apologized to me because he thought I had agreed. He's pissed at his wife over this. She thinks I'm a bad guy for not just watching them while my parents were out of town. To be honest, if she had asked, I would have watched them. But I didn't feel bad about not doing something I didn't sign up for. I'm the bad guy for telling my friend that her boyfriend has a right to be angry at her for using adult toys. My friend Hannah is refusing to talk to me because I agree that her boyfriend Patrick has the right to be angry at her for using adult toys. When Hannah and Patrick first started dating, Hannah made it clear that watching porn is just as bad as cheating, to which Patrick agreed with, and believes that if you need porn to get off, you clearly don't have a good sexual relationship with your partner. Patrick also made it clear that he didn't like the truth of using sex toys or Hannah using them. Hannah had already had a few toys before meeting Patrick, but agreed to not use them because she didn't want to make him uncomfortable. I personally don't have problem with either my partner and I use toys on each other and watch porn together, but have agreed that if it becomes something that we are trying to hide from each other, that's when it becomes a problem. Well, fast forward to a few days ago, Hannah called me up in tears because her and Patrick had got into an argument because she went to her sister's bachelorette party and they ended up going to a doll shop and she brought herself a toy. When she got back home, she was pretty drunk and tried to get Patrick to use the toy on her. And of course, he didn't want to, but Hannah will take no for an answer and instead use it, so she used it on herself while Patrick was in bed beside her. Patrick ended up leaving, to which she said, and I quote, "killed her mood." Patrick slept on the couch and in the morning reminded her of the boundaries that they had set when they first started dating, and if she wasn't satisfied with him anymore, she should have talked about it with him and not get gone and brought a toy knowing he was uncomfortable with her using them. He has been staying with his brother and Hannah thinks he might break up with her. I told her she should try talk to him, but he had the right to be angry because they both set boundaries. She broke them and she was in the wrong. How she thinks I'm being the bad guy. So, am I the bad guy? Am I the bad guy for not wanting to go to Hawaii with my family? My brother-in-law has a timeshare in Hawaii and invited all of us to go. That's me, my husband, my mother, my boys, plus their family and their daughter. My mother has MS and it had gotten worse over the last year. I'm her main caregiver. I don't mind any of this, obviously. It's what you do. My sister had a difficult bout with postpartum, and it's not handling motherhood very well. My niece can be needy, so I often take her off my sister's hand. Needless to say, when offered this all-expenses-paid trip, I was psyched. I needed the bouquet badly. My husband is a surgical resident and realized that he wouldn't be able to go for the full 10 days, but will make it for a weekend. One night, we were all at my sister's house, planning the trip, and hubby asked about accommodation for mom, which then turned into a conversation about sharing the responsibility of caring for mom while we were there, helping her get in out of cars, getting dressed, etc. Brother-in-law said that since I'm used to it the most, it's only natural I manage mom care. Plus, my sister will be dealing with my niece, and he says that the boys shouldn't be put to work on their vacay. My husband defended me that it's unfair to put it all on me, as it's vacation for everyone. I suggested we hire a caregiver to accompany us. Bill agreed, but only if me and hubby pay for it. We went home and I told my husband that I'm not going, but the boys can still go. He said that was probably for the best, and he will still take those days off and we'll have a staycation. Well, he told my sister and brother-in-law, and they are not happy. They think I'm ungrateful, and it's really rude for me to pawn my sons off on them to spite them. My sister thinks I'm pushing her for not being present in mom's care all along. By the way, my mother feels thrown in the middle and won't take sides. So, guys, am I the bad guy here?